Investigators on the scene in Williamson County as 2024 is already off to a deadly start. The latest from the sheriff's office following a large law enforcement presence.
The first of 3 storms for the first week of the year arrives tomorrow. We'll time out each and show you how much rain it all adds up to in first warning weather.
And the rush of migrants to the U.S. southern border now one for the record books. The new numbers coming out to close out 2023. But we start at 5 with all of the eyes of Longhorn Nation focused squarely on the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Here is a live look from the Crescent City.
Such an exciting time. For weeks since the Texas Longhorns won the Big 12 championship and secured a spot in the college football playoff for the first time, the excitement has really been building for tonight.
And with a chance to head to the national title game in Houston next week on the line, the Longhorn faithful have plenty of buzz leading to extra business. We have team coverage for you with Sports Director Roger Wallace on the road with the team in New Orleans for tonight's game against Washington. But first, KXAN's Avery Travis is out in East Austin where people have gathered to watch the bowl games. Avery.
Hey guys, there's actually a lot of maize and blue out here because that game's still going on. But don't you worry. The burnt orange is trickling in fan by fan. We're getting more of these Longhorn fans. Haymaker here, though, is a Michigan bar, so we've still got a couple of hours of that Michigan football before the Horns kick off. But we wanted to head out and talk to our local businesses here in Austin today. We caught up with one longtime staple who's been serving Longhorns for nearly 50 years about just how much this game means.
A rare, quiet game day at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium, with the Longhorns off in Louisiana. But just steps away at Posse East, owner J.V. Cook isn't worried.
People are hungry.
Not just for the food and drinks his crew will be serving up all night, but for some good football, which he says means better business.
Well, it'll be a later coming crowd because they're not playing across the street. But once they start coming, they're going to keep coming and we should have a really, really good night tonight.
Cook's spot has been around since opening in 1971, hot off the Longhorn National Championship teams of 69 and 70. But his favorite memories are from the national championship win against USC at the Rose Bowl in January 2006.
Like sardine can. Everybody's hooting and hollering.
Down the street, representatives at the University Co-op told us just a few days ago they only had a few bits and pieces of Sugar Bowl pre-order merch left. And while lots of fans flew out to watch the Sugar Bowl in person,
cheers to the victory.
Cook says the Horns making it this far will be a win for his business and for fans.
That tastes really good.
We also spoke with Bob Woody, and he serves as the president of the East 6th Street Community Association. He says downtown bars are also prepped and ready for tonight's game as well. But he wanted to let us know, actually, last night, New Year's Eve, was one of the best in several years, and it really served as a great sign that 2024 marks a bounce back for the industry. Now, I have to say, you guys in the studio, he told me that on the phone because he's in New Orleans with a lot of other Longhorn fans. So we'll have to hold it down here back in Austin. Live from a Left Behind Longhorn. I'll send it back to you all.
Right,
We're thinking of you, Avery. Hook 'em.
Well, as for the game itself, this is the first appearance for Texas in the college football playoff.
But as the Longhorns say, they didn't come this far just to have come this far. So for more on the Longhorns in New Orleans, we turn things over to Noah Gross.
Britt got the burnt orange memo today. Daniel and I staying a bit objective, but we'll be watching nevertheless. Guys, so much emotion surrounding this one. Texas's first appearance in the college football playoff. If they win, they head to the national championship, something they have not won since 2005. I had to ask Mom to stay up late to watch that one. Roger Wallace was at that game, so who better to ask than Roger? Roger, I just want to ask about the emotion of this one, how much this means to the program. You know this so well. Just this seems like such a big deal for Texas, and you've been there for a week. Talk about the emotion of this all.
Yeah, you said it well for the program. Obviously, Noah, it means so much for the players and the coaches and the staff, but those turn over. The program is made up of Longhorn Nation, and while these players will always be a part of it, they've been the one living and dying and thinking back to that magical run in 05 and the disappointment of the Colt McCoy Alabama loss in 09, and now final year in the Big 12, coincidentally, final year in the Southwest Conference. They won it, played in the Sugar Bowl. That didn't go so well. They lost to Virginia Tech, but now going to the SEC, they've already accomplished one huge goal, getting here. They didn't want want to go 10 years without getting into the 4-team college football playoff, but Sark has built this team from the inside out. They are built for the long term, but it would be sweet for Texas fans and the program to get back to Texas to play for a national title next Monday, Noah.
All right, Roger, so you were there the last time Texas was in New Orleans for the Sugar Bowl, as was Texas's pride and joy, really, in Bevo. And there was a bit of an incident last time Texas was there facing Georgia and UGA. And you've been there. You've been kind of seeing the mascot duel. I don't know if we can call it that. Just break it down for us and what the people really want to see today.
Yeah, I mean, you got to cover every angle, and they have wisely totally separated Bevo and Dubs 2, the Washington Husky. Bevo in his pen, and obviously the fans and band members from Washington love to get a look at the Longhorn. Longhorn. And then on the other side, I mean, the absolute opposite end of the field, some Texas band members taking a peek at Dubs 2 as he shakes some hands and takes some pictures. So wisely, they have separated the mascots. They can't separate the teams as Washington and Texas will go back to battle here. Remember, last year they played in the Alamo Bowl. Really nothing on the line. I mean, Texas didn't have Bijan Robinson, Roshan Johnson, DeMarvion Overshown, but Washington did win that game. And we joked about the revenge tour. Well, this would be another step in that direction, though, if the Longhorns can knock off this undefeated Washington team and get to NRG Stadium next Monday.
Yeah, Roger, they lost 5 games last year. They've beaten 4 of the teams they already lost to. Tonight, if they can beat Washington, it would be the 5th, and the revenge tour would be complete. All right, thank you, Roger. More coming up on KXAN News at 6. But also, you can get some in-depth coverage of the Longhorns and the 90th Annual Sugar Bowl right now if you head over to KXAN.com and look under the Sports tab, including an explainer on this historic and iconic ball game.
First warning weather with meteorologist Nick Bannon.
Well, a happy new year to you. It was noticeably colder here today, about 10, 20 degrees colder in some spots now than this time yesterday. But a gorgeous looking day from our KXAN West Shore home studio camera looking toward downtown. Unfortunately, cedar pollen still very high, but it is trending lower than it was yesterday. Mold is low, trending up a bit. I am confident that cedar should drop a lot tomorrow with the rain. Temperatures outside now are in the low to mid 50s. It feels like winter a little bit. We've got clear skies over us, but more clouds to the south and east. Those will be arriving overnight. So here, your forecast tonight, increasing clouds. You may get a few spots in the hill country that briefly dip down to freezing. In Austin, we think 40, and then those temperatures will rise as the clouds thicken up. We've got 3 separate storms over the next week. We'll show you the 7-day rainfall forecast and eventually some warmer temperatures.
All right, Nick, thank you very much. Well, happening right now, the Williamson County Sheriff's Office tells us they've opened a suspicious death investigation in the Round Rock area. We went out and found law enforcement within the 8,000 block of Arezzo Drive, that's north of U.S. Highway 79, kind of near Curley Elementary School. The Sheriff's Office says there is no immediate threat to the public, and they added the residents should avoid the area as the investigation is still ongoing. Well, a record surge at the U.S. southern border. The new totals on just how many people agents stopped to close out last year.
And later, if you've already eaten those black-eyed peas, might want to test your New Year's luck on the lottery. The new jackpot setting people on a mad dash for Powerball tickets.
Plus, a local woman hoping to win big at the Grammys. How she says she stumbled into a dream of a career.
We start off the new year with a look back at the migrant surge to end last year.
NBC News reports we saw a record number of migrants encountered at the southwestern border last month. Per Customs and Border Protection, agents encountered approximately 300,000 migrants in December. Officials say CBP processed between 9,000 and 10,000 people per day on average for the month. And just last week, top Biden administration leaders met with Mexico's president in hopes of changes to stem the growing number of migrants traveling through Mexico to get to the border.
After 70s yesterday, just 50s here today. It actually gets colder tomorrow and much wetter. We'll time several storms out on what should be a reasonably wet start to the new year in First Warning Weather.
In February, the world's best musical talents will head to Los Angeles for the 66th annual Grammy Awards.
And it includes a native Texan and Austinite who is nominated for Best Music Film. Our Monica Madden sat down with the award-winning producer who says she stumbled into what's turned into an epic, decades-long career.
In the music world, Deborah Davis needs no introduction. She's worked with some of the biggest stars in the industry, from country legends Dolly Parton and Johnny Cash to rap groups like Migos. Davis has also overseen major live productions ranging from Coachella to the Olympics, but she didn't intend to set out on this path.
Well, it was quite by accident. I was hoping to be a PR professional, so I went to Texas State and then ended up going to New York, and I got a job at Columbia Pictures as a publicist. I connected with a lot of the creators there and the filmmakers, and that really resonated with me.
Would the younger version of yourself believe the things that you have gone on to achieve?
Not in a million years. No. I thought I was going to be writing press releases and have a little cushy job. And actually, I worked on the Grammys early on in 1990.
Fast forward, and Davis is an Emmy-winning producer, now nominated for a Grammy in 2024.
It feels wonderful. It really, really does. I mean, to be recognized by your peers feels amazing.
Take off the humble cock here. Take it off. She's nominated for Best Music Film for her production of rapper Kendrick Lamar's Big Steppers Tour, live from Paris.
The Big Stepper Tour is a concert film documenting his tour that was shot in Paris.
A polished, finished product with hours of behind-the-scenes work by Davis and her team.
We really wanted to align with that vision, so we spent a lot of time prepping this show. The way we shot Kendrick is very intimate, and you feel like you're right there with him the whole time.
Is it stressful producing a live music production?
You just can't mess it up, and you don't get the chance to start over, like you said. So in some ways it's better because you just go and it is what it is.
Although it's not the path she imagined, there's nothing else Davis would rather do.
I think with your skill set, you probably could work in a variety of different areas of media production. What is it about music that really speaks to you?
Well, I mean, music makes everybody happy, doesn't it? I mean, it just is the energy, it's the personalities, it's the audience that brings that energy back to you. It's music by itself, even if you're not experiencing it live, it's just such a powerful tool.
Monica Madden, KXAN News.
And Davis will attend the Grammys in February. She's up against music films about David Bowie, Little Richard, Tupac, and Louis Capaldi.
First warning weather with meteorologist Nick Bannon.
Let's get to it. The first of 3 storms over the next week arrives tomorrow. Here's what we're expecting. Rain and thunderstorms between about 1/4 of an inch to an inch for most of us just tomorrow alone. But there could be some localized amounts up to 2 inches. I think in the morning it sort of tries to get going with a few showers by late morning. But most of the heaviest rain comes in the afternoon and early evening. And then late Tuesday night, the rain wraps up. Where is that storm now? Well, it's entering Baja, and then we'll move through the rest of Mexico into Texas as we head through the day tomorrow. Storm number 2 waiting in the wings for later in the week, and that one's well out in the Pacific now. And guess what? We've actually got a third on the way that could come in next Monday. As far as what's happening in Texas now, we are clear, but the low clouds will start to build back in from the south overnight. So the moisture comes first with the clouds. That's 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then the rain shower chances go up by late morning and especially in the afternoon. And we're calling for 90% rainfall coverage tomorrow. So just about all of central Texas gets measurable rain tomorrow with showers, downpours and storms during the afternoon and early evening. By late evening and nighttime, things are drying out so that by the time we start off our Wednesday, the rain is long gone. Rainfall chances start pretty low tomorrow at just 10% at 7. They're up to 40% by noon, and then a wet end to the afternoon and evening commute. Storm number 2 right here moves into California first through the middle of the week and then moves into Texas soon after that, so that by Friday we've got another round of widespread rain moving through the area, arriving Friday morning and spending its time with us during the day before we think exiting as we head into the weekend. So next weekend, first weekend of the year, looks dry until our next storm comes in. This one for next Monday. So a week from today, another decent rainfall chance, although this one at the very end of our 7-day. We'll keep those rainfall chances under 50% for now until we gain a little more confidence in that. Then it pulls away as we head into Monday night, the way the timing looks. When you add up all 3 storms, the rainfall projections have been going up and up. If you've been with us the last few days, now it looks like 1.25 inches to 2.5 inches from the metro to our eastern counties. Not all coming tomorrow, but coming over the next 7 days. On the lower end of things here for you in the hill country, 1/4 inch to 1 inch of rain. Hopefully all of these amounts can increase as we continue to gain more confidence, we think, on each individual storm. Looking at our first warning weather 7-day forecast. There's your day tomorrow, a wet one after a dry start, a high of 51. That'll be the coldest day of the week ahead. We're up to 57 with clouds slowly giving way to sunshine on Wednesday. Mix of sun and clouds Thursday, 59. And then our next storm comes in here for Friday with still decent rain chances at 70%. We do dry out nicely just in time for the weekend. In fact, the first weekend of 2024 looks pretty good. Sunshine Saturday, 60, 65 on Sunday with more clouds later in the day. That'll give way to those, for now, 40% rain chances on Monday, but temperatures warming up all the way to 70.
Nick, thank you so much. Coming up, with attention focused on Israel's ongoing fight against Hamas, the action taken by U.S. forces in the nearby Red Sea, highlighting the instability in the region. Covering the Israel-Hamas war and the greater situation in the Mideast, U.S. forces exchanged fire with rebel forces in the Red Sea. The Navy said it was responding to a distress signal when one of its choppers was targeted. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest from Tel Aviv.
Yeah, look, the situation in the Red Sea began with a distress call from a cargo ship there. U.S. Navy choppers responding. At that point, they say they were fired on by Houthi rebels and returned that fire, sinking 3 ships, killing 10 men on board those ships. It's the first response we've seen from U.S. troops that have ended with a fatality. That certainly ramps up the situation, which has been escalating over the last month or so. U.S. troops have been fired on from organizations in Yemen, in the Red Sea, and surrounding areas. So a lot of concern there. While Israeli troops continue to gather along the border with Lebanon, more troops moving in, more equipment, tanks, and other equipment there. And that's a continuous back and forth. So not only here in Israel, but globally, there is a big concern that this could ultimately become another front in this war. All of that while the ongoing war in Gaza continues, with a lot of focus right now in the Han Yunis area. We know that it's a densely populated urban area. The fighting has been very intense. The IDF says that they believe Hamas leadership is hiding in that area, and so they're really focused on trying to find all of that while they continue with airstrikes as well. They do say that they've eliminated a lot of the command and control structures, a lot of the military facilities, including some of the missile launch sites. And they say that they are continuing to find and eliminate tunnels in that region as well. And what leadership here in Tel Aviv and military leaders on the ground in Gaza are saying is that this is a process that's going to continue months into the new year. That's the latest from here in Tel Aviv. I'm Jay Gray. Back to you.
Well, if you play the Powerball tonight, you have a shot at starting the new year a whole lot richer. Tonight's Powerball jackpot's going to be an estimated $810 million after nobody won the jackpot on Saturday. So if you win tonight's drawing, you'll get an option between an estimated $408.9 million one-time cash prize or the full $810 million distributed in 30 payments over 29 years. If there is no winner tonight, the jackpot is expected to grow to an estimated $880 million. And although that is a lot of cheddar, it's still not the most that we've ever seen. The largest lottery jackpot in U.S. history stands at just over $2 billion. Remember that? Someone in California won that in 2022. And if this isn't your lucky day, you still have many chances. Powerball drawings are held every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday nights. Good luck. Well, tonight on NBC Primetime at 7, it's an all-new America's Got Talent Fantasy League. Then at 9, The Irrational, and then we're back with KXAN News at 10.
You can join us an hour earlier for KXAN News at 9 on CW Austin, and here is where to find us over the air or through your television provider.